Hello, welcome back. I really hope you can't hear the fan, but I need it on. I really do. I've put it as far away as possible. For today's video, we are going to be fitting some hair. So I haven't worn hair extensions for about 6 months, I think it is now. I've been growing my own hair. I'm going to go into that in a different video, but it's got a really nice length. However, I want more. What can I say? I want more length. So I'm going to go with the Yilite extensions again. I used these the last time and they were brilliant. I reused them about 3 or 4 times afterwards and they lasted so well. I probably could have used them again, to be quite honest with you. But I got some new ones, but I've changed my hair colour as well since. So I got some new ones. So these are the 100% Remy human hair extensions and they are incredible quality. So I've got the hair prepped right here. And I got 2 different colours actually, because I have highlights now and I have some kind of warm tones or slightly warmer tones in my hair, and then I also have some really cool tones as well. So I went for 2 packs of these ones. I've toned them as well, purple shampoo, you know, the water in the sink with a bit of purple shampoo and then you dip. But these lighter ones, look, they've gone almost a bit blue at the ends, but that's fine, it'll wash out. But yeah, they were like, soaked it right up. I was like, oh my goodness, that was just from one dip. Anyway, so I've gone for these brighter blonde ones. So that's how they are when you first get them. And then obviously I've toned them to that. So I've made them, as I say, more like, well, very good actually, like my own colour. And then I also got this highlighted bundle, which I like that when you get them, but obviously again I have toned them again. I think these are going to blend really well. So I chose 16-inch. Obviously, you know, if you want longer, go for it. I just prefer 16-inch. I find it more manageable for me. So 4 packs in total, 2 of each, and I'll just show you actually the 1 pack before I take them apart. How amazing are they? That they're really nice and thick at the top, you can see like that, and they're exactly the same right down to the tip, the same thickness all the way down. Now, if you get cheaper extensions, I'm talking like, you know, cheap, then quite often they get really thin and almost a bit ratty over time as well at the ends. And that's the difference that I find between those ones, or these ones I should say, and the ones that I've got, you know, way back in the past. I've gone for like really cheap ones and they haven't lasted as well. And as I say, over time they've got really ratty on the ends. I do believe that when it comes to hair extensions, if you want to reuse them and you still want them to look good after use, it is better to invest in a decent set of extensions. It really is. And as I say, these are the best ones I have ever tried. So I'm going to do 2 methods today. I'm going to do the usual one that I normally do. They're tape-ins, by the way. I didn't even say that, did I? 1-inch tape-ins. And I'm going to do the back-to-back tapes, and I'm also going to show you a method where you use the tapes and you actually fold them on themselves, like to make almost half-size ones, which I'm going to do a bit more around the front. So I have already done a full detailed review of me fitting a full head of the Yilite hair extensions. I'll link it here, but I am going to show you just the 2 methods today as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to use the 2 colours together. Oh, one thing I will tell you, I had a little discussion. I had my roots done yesterday and I had a little discussion with my hairdresser as to the best way to tone these. And she said, make sure you don't get the bonds or the glue wet, which is actually something that I've done in the past. Not with these ones or, you know, the Yilite ones, but in the past I've toned them right up to here and then the water has soaked in to the actual tape, and then, you know, the first time I've washed my hair, most of them have come out and I've been like, oh, and I've had to reapply them with new tapes, and it's because I've got water on the tape. Obviously it's not going to stick as well. So she said, like, do it to here like I have done, because you're not going to see that part when you first put them in, and then obviously in the future when you do, you know, wash your hair, you can always, you know, go right up to the root after that. But so that's why I have this like difference where you know, we've got this plain line here with them. So what I'm thinking I'm going to do is actually use, you know, one of the highlighted packs and one of the plain packs, and I'm actually going to use them together. So I'm going to do the plain pack as the top tape and then the highlighted ones as the bottom tape, so that they all blend nicely. So I will just show you a couple, or maybe one or two rows at the back quickly. So I have a rat tail, is it a rat tail comb? And I'm just gonna form a line just above the nape of my neck. Now I do leave a little gap. I probably won't get this right the first time, I never do. Yeah, that's too high. That's better. So I have this kind of thin section at the bottom here, and the reason I do leave a bit of a gap from the bottom is because when I want to wear it up, obviously I want my own hair to cover the bonds from the extensions. So I reckon I'm going to be able to fit 2, possibly 3 in here. So as I say, I've got one of the plain colour and then I have one of the highlighted ones here. So this one's going on the top, and I find the best or the easiest way to do these when you're doing your own is to actually stick it first. So I'm going just below where that parting is. So we'll start off in the middle, then we should get one either side. Give it a really firm press to pick up as much hair as possible, and then literally take that piece, flip it up like this, get rid of any excess hair, any loose bits, like that, and then take your underneath bit and stick that to the other side. These are so sticky as well, which is what I really like about these. Like the actual tape lasts well as well. Give it another firm press. Pretty much perfect. And that's our first piece in there. I don't normally use heat on them. I don't normally find I need to, but because it's quite warm at the moment, obviously it's summertime, you know, you get sweaty. I want to give it that bit more extra security. So I am just going to pop a little bit of heat onto the bond. So I'm literally just going to take my straighteners and give a little, just like that. Nothing too much, just to make sure that it's well and truly stuck together. So as I said, I'm going to put one either side of that as well. So about there. As I said, I have 4 packs of hair here, so that's about 200 grams in total. My hair is particularly thick. I have a lot of hair, which is why I need quite a few packs. But if you have thinner hair, you can probably get away with 2 to 3 packs, to be honest with you. It all depends really on the thickness of your natural hair. I will say as well, the other thing I love about these, they're so thin. They're really thin, like the actual tape part of them, which makes them a lot more comfortable. You know, they're not thick and bulky, and sometimes when they're like that, your hair doesn't lay right over them. But because these are so thin, they're almost like flush, like to your head, which is amazing. Again, we'll do another little quick little bit of heat there, and as I say, I'll do one more on this side. Fantastic. So that is my first row done. It is quite quick, and the more obviously you do it, it does get easier and quicker. Yeah, that's pretty nice and straight, I would say. I'm just going to show you one more from the section that I want above this, because there's kind of like a certain way that you need to layer them. So I'm just going to release this piece of hair and then take my next section. Right, so we've got our next section down here, and this one you need to feel. So I have one in the middle here, and then obviously I've got one here. So you need to place the next one about here, so it's in the middle. The reason being, if you obviously layer right on top, the more you layer on top as you get higher up, you're going to get that, can you see me? You're going to get that kind of bulk, if you know what I mean. So the hair's going to go over like that. Whereas if you go like a brick layer, so brick, then it falls a lot nicer and you're not going to get that bulky thickness where your natural hair lays over the top. So if I feel, as I say, I've got one here and I've got one in the middle here, so I want to be going just here. So again, just below where the parting is, about there, and press that down there. Flip and get rid of any bits of hair, and then the other piece underneath. Firm press, a little bit of heat, and that one's done there. So what I'm going to do now is just finish off the rest of the back of my hair. So I'm literally going to work like this in this section here. So like a triangle, I'm going to work up to, I'm not going to go right up to my crown. I'll probably go about an inch or even an inch and a half from where my crown is. So the back is now done. What a colour match, look at that. That is spot on. Needs blending, I'm going to discuss that in a bit, but I think that's amazing, really nice, and it's a good thickness as well, which is what I was saying why I need 4 packs, because I really do need that bit more thickness, so it just doesn't look like it's just sitting there at the end, if you know what I mean. So we now need to do the sides. So I tend to just do about 3 layers on the sides, not that many, because when I'm doing the back I kind of bring it round to about here anyway. So I start off just above the ear. I can't get over this colour match, how good is that? So about there. And what you want to do when you are doing this, I mean I'm not quite there, but when I do the next layer, I don't want to take it right above the ear, because when it starts to grow out it can irritate like this part of the ear. Take a slightly smaller clip just here. Do you know what, that's actually too low. I didn't even have room to get one in there. Let's go a bit higher than that. Let's go for about here instead. That's better. So this is where I'll show you like the 2 methods just here. So I'm going to put one full piece here, and then more towards the front I'm going to put a folded piece. This is how sticky they are. I accidentally, like where they're stuck to this, got it stuck to the pack and I cannot get it off. They're very easy to remove though, don't get me wrong. Like I use the what's it called? I'll pop a picture here. I just get it off Amazon. It is the best stuff for removing tape-ins. They just slide out when you use that, like any of them, to be honest with you, even the really stubborn ones. I just go, as I did at the back, just below the pretty badly done parting, to be honest with you. It's not quite a straight line there, is it? So about there. Loose bits removed. The next piece underneath, which is actually a bit easier to see when you're doing the sides to get it a bit more even. There we go. Don't know actually, I might not even put one in at the front there, or shall I? No, I think that's going to be too close. I'll do it on the next one. Okay, so I've got the one just here. I've just popped that in, and I'm going to put one of those folded pieces just in front of that. I think I'm just going to go for one of the brighter ones, because I do have like 2 blonder money pieces at the front anyway, so it'll blend better. So for this, you want to just take a very thin section of hair, like smaller than that, like about there, and then place this underneath it. So obviously get in the front again at the parting, and then getting that hair sandwiched in there like that, and then take the sticky side back on itself and then just secure it at the front there, and you can squish. And that's why I really like these as well, because they're thin enough to do that without being bulky, and they're also thin enough, you know, to bend nicely as well. And then obviously we have our piece there. It's so easy. You can do the whole head like that if you want to. I just find it easier to do like the bulk of my hair with the thicker, like 1 inch back to back pieces, and then when it comes to the front, obviously doing it this way. But yeah, easy. So I think I'm going to do maybe 2 more rows actually, so that'll be 4 in total on each side, doing exactly the same method that I just showed you, like the strip and then the bent one, or the folded one. So that is all of the hair in now. So I used just under 4 packs. I've got kind of like that much left, so just under like one side of, you know, both colours, but so happy. I am ecstatic with the colour match. I don't think I could have got it any better, to be quite honest with you. Yeah, and even where I said that it had really like clung at the ends, it doesn't look weird. So I don't know, you find that sometimes you look at the colours like before you apply them and you think, oh, I don't know about that, that's not going to be quite right. Once it's in and it's all blended in, it looks absolutely fine. So yeah, I'm so it feels amazing. It feels so lightweight as well, which is one of the reasons I love this hair. As I say, because of the tapes being so thin, you can't really feel it. It's so comfortable to wear. But yeah, and you know, you can't see, as I say, that's why I did the bit underneath, so that we can wear it up if we want to. Sides I took up to here, you know, you can't see, like if I move around a bit, it looks absolutely fine. Yeah, the back looks fine, needs blending, but I have an appointment because I'm not very good at cutting. I always end up ruining it when I try to do that myself. So I've got an appointment with my hairdresser on Monday and she's going to blend it for me. I'm just going to pop on a little bit of oil, so I'm just going to pop on the Kerastars glaze drops. I love these, they're really nice because they don't make your hair greasy. Just don't use too much, just about 4 drops, and just take that through the ends. And this is something that I recommend, you know, to look after your extensions. Just treat them like your own hair. So, you know, if you use a hair mask on your hair, for example, put it on the ends of your extensions as well. Obviously serums, oils, make sure to put that on the ends of your extensions as well. And that, I think, is the key to keeping them as long as you possibly can, and keeping them in, like, you know, good condition, is yeah, to just treat them like they're your own hair. And whatever you're doing to your hair, make sure you do it to your extensions as well. Just obviously be mindful of the bonds. Don't be applying conditioner or oil or anything to the bonds. But yeah, ecstatic, so happy, always am when it comes to Yilite hair extensions. They're incredible. So as always, I will link the extensions in the description box below for you, along with the discount code as well. Other than that, I hope you enjoyed watching, and if you did, please give me a thumbs up, and I'd really appreciate it. It means the absolute world to me if you did enjoy watching this video and you would like to see more content from me in the future, and you would like to subscribe to my channel. Until then, thanks for watching. Bye.